The atrocities in the Syrian war have been laid bare in a damning report by the United Nations. It warns both parties to the conflict must respect rules of war, given abuses of children and use of child soldiers on the ground. Paulo Pinheiro is the chairperson of the Commission.
Among the most disturbing findings in this report are accounts of large training camps where children, mostly boys from the age of 14, are recruited and trained to fight in the ranks of ISIS along with adults.
The report says militants of the Islamic State carry out frequent public executions that people, including children, are forced to watch. The UN Commission is also scathing of Syrian government forces. It says they drop barrel bombs and use chemical weapons in civilian areas. It says chemical weapons have been used at least 8 times this year. Witit Mantabon is a member of the Commission and says the crimes committed have caused immeasurable suffering to civilians.
Descriptions that pertain to chlorine attacks and their effects include vomiting, eye and skin irritation and so on, choking. So from that variety of sourcing, we have concluded, according to our evidentiary test, that there are reasonable grounds to believe that the chlorine has been dropped, particularly in barrel bombs, from helicopters belonging to the government authorities. So the finger points there.
The UN report is based on interviews and evidence collected over 6 months, from January to July this year. It reveals hundreds of men, women and children are killed every week by indiscriminate firing of missiles. And it says the delivery of humanitarian aid is also blocked as a weapon of war. The Commission's Mr Pinheiro says failure by the international community to end the Syrian crisis has fuelled the rise of the extremist group Islamic State.
The evidence collected shows that the international community has completely failed in one of our most elemental duties, to protect the civilians. Over the last year and a half, it's clear that ISIS is an expansionist force. It seeks to destroy and remove humanity in its image, wreaking havoc on civilians, minorities and the basic freedoms of women and children.
Attention is now turning to whether the United States, which is targeting Islamic State with airstrikes in Iraq, will extend their campaign in Syria. There's mounting international concern over the flow of foreign fighters to Syria and Iraq that radicalised militants may return home.